here's what's going to happen next season. There's going to be one of the teams that's going to have the best power unit in Formula One, and it's not going to be Ferrari.
Yeah, no, it's very unlikely.
Exactly. And if it is not going to be Ferrari, at that very moment, you have to think, okay, fine, it's not Ferrari, it's something else, whatever. Does Ferrari have the capability to build the best possible chassis? I don't think so.
No, not
I
anymore.
think it's foolish to even think about those things
Yeah.
when they've not had a track record of doing that already.
No.
I was happy until lap 42, 43 when Charles was ultimately overtaken by, and it happened out of the blue because he had around a second and a half advantage over Oscar, and then just like that he had overtaken him. And what the fuck
Yeah,
happened?
it was just insane how quickly it, and like did you see his off-screen rant? Like, oh, it was amazing.
Wow, that was something, right?
I have never seen the radio thing go off the screen.
Yeah.
Like, I know
I mean,
normally
he had
they,
enough time. He was driving
Yeah.
at 80%. What
Yeah,
what
yeah.
could he do? He's driving the car almost a second or so off the pace that he's supposed to. What can he really do in
so
that case?
we're talking about Leclerc now, right? So tell me,
We're gonna talk about
what do
Leclerc.
we know about like why he dropped off so suddenly?
Yeah, so rumor has it, and again, first it was Fred Visser and Charles that they kind of revealed that it had to do with the chassis, and George apparently noticed it where he said that they were running very close to the ground to a certain extent, and since they were at a very dangerous level in terms of plank wear, what they did was they inflated the tires that they were using to a large. Basically, there's a certain tire pressure that you're supposed to do.
There's a minimum. Yeah.
The minimum
So they put
tire
it at a
pressure is
higher.
prescribed.
Yeah.
You can have a higher one. You can't have a lower one because the lower tire pressure means more contact, which means more grip.
But more likely to pop or whatever if something
Yeah,
goes
exactly.
wrong. Yeah.
So that's why Pirelli prescribes it. So they basically used they inflated the tires as much as they could. And what that did was it basically screwed the performance in both ways because first the car got lifted. Secondly, you can say the contact area between the tires and the ground decreased. And that's where the loss of performance comes in. So once that happened, he was a sitting duck.
But like, just wasn't the suspension brought in to fix this problem that they've been having?
Exactly the question everyone
Like-
has. And apparently, it seems there was an issue with the chassis. And maybe it has to do with, and I won't be surprised if it has to do with the fact that there was too much gravel. And gravel became an issue this weekend. It hurt Isaac Hadja's hand, which was rubbish.
Yeah.
I think that shouldn't be happening.
Yeah.
But that happened, and then I think maybe it probably got stuck somewhere or something happened. We don't know.
Maybe it was Max's towel gone back.
Yeah.
You know,
Has to be something. Probably has to be something. There could be a case where they gambled.
Maybe. Like it was interesting that Leclerc. So that makes sense now as to why Leclerc was like, I told you, like we're going to have this problem on, because he said on these tires, which is what I was confused about. I was like, it seems like his engine is slower or something slower, but he's complaining about his tires.
That was my first thing. I thought that maybe the engine was close to the end of its life and he was forced to manage, but it seems like it was an entirely different thing. But yeah.
Yeah. I think, look, the only good thing now is this seems to me like one of those issues where I'll say it the same about Red Bull, where like as soon as you have all this shit going on behind the background, people take their eye off the ball on a lot of things. And I think this is good that they've locked Fred down because Fred needs to be focusing on, okay, like is the technical
They've
team
not
on top?
locked him down. They've
got 3-year
they've
contracts
supposedly
or something.
signed a multi-year deal. They've not revealed how many years it is. They've not talked about how if it is a case of 1 plus whatever option. We have no idea.
Well, I'm hoping that they've locked him down in a way where he
It's
has,
Ferrari. Why are you hoping?
because
Yeah,
I don't know. Insanity, maybe. I'm not sure.
exactly.
But like
It's the definition of a toxic relationship.
definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results, which is literally Ferrari. I hope they
to be
do.
Red Bull.
Yeah, I hope they have locked him down because it just does seem to me like they need someone who's actually just on top of these things and like focusing on like whether the technical team needs help or needs new people or whatever, instead of him worrying about whether he's going to be replaced every second weekend. Because ultimately that's what's going to happen. Like, you know, at the end of the day, like, it's going to be very hard for Fred to be able to focus on what's happening in the team if he's constantly looking over his back, worrying about whether the fucking guys in the board are going to fire him. Like, it's impossible to work that way. You need a 3 to 5 year window where you can just be left alone to focus on things. And it just seems like Ferrari's just not willing to do it. So I'm hoping that's the case, because this is another situation where they should be better and they've just fucked up again. And it's going to happen at Red Bull as well. Like, I jokingly put after this thing, I was like, well, you know, bad weekend for Red Bull. So I'm guessing Lauren Mekies is going to be replaced by Jos Verstappen in the summer break. You know, it just...
I mean, Brundle is saying that already, isn't it?
Yeah, probably. But it's like, this is the problem at Ferrari. Like, shit like this will happen if you don't have someone. And I know people are going to say, oh, well, it's just a technical team needs to change. Sure, but you need someone who is standing there to like back everyone up so they can not make these mistakes and focus long term. Because what happens otherwise is they're just trying to come up with a quick fix, which is going to cause more problems all the time. And that trickles down.
They invested half a season on the rear suspension, and that rear suspension doesn't even work.
And to be honest, they probably shouldn't have focused on it at all. Like, you know, like, they probably should have, at the very most, brought something to just figure out whether stuff was working in correlation. But, like, what was the point in trying to fix this? Yeah, that would have genuinely probably been better. You know, like, I don't know. None of Ferrari's thinking makes sense, but it all shouts that Ferrari's in a situation where they need quick performance, otherwise there's going to be changes. Instead of making long thought out pragmatic decisions to go like, okay, well, why don't we not waste time on this car? Or why don't we like take more time on the suspension, because we're not winning the constructors this year. We're not winning the drivers this year. Regardless, it's too late. Like, I don't know.
I don't think Ferrari gives me the vibes that this is the team that could be a contender next season in any which way.
No.
I think they've got too many problems, and we'll get to the second driver later, but it seems that there's only so... And, you know, this was probably one of the best examples of people saying that Charles Leclerc is not on Max Verstappen's level, and him showing that he's on that level, but his team does not back him up to produce that kind of results.
To be
this should have been his win, by the way.
I'm sorry, Verstappen fans. To be on Verstappen's level, you need a team that is on Verstappen's level. That's how Formula One works. And if you don't believe that, then why the fuck didn't Max win the championship from 2016 to 2021? Like, up until 2020.
Why is he not winning now?
Yeah, exactly. Or like, you know, like, but someone the other day, well, if Max had the second fastest car, he'd be winning the championship. Well, why didn't he win fucking 2020 then? Cop on. That's not how it works. Like, you know, he had the second fastest car in 2020. He didn't win the championship.
Yeah.
Like, it's not as simple as that. But like, the point of that little rant is just to say, like, you need a team that is on that level. Like, you can have a world championship driver, but if you don't have a world championship team, it doesn't make any difference. Formula One is mostly, it's at least 80% the current team. Probably 90 in my view. But it's
95.
You could say that, just given on like the lap time differences. If you worked out the actual percentages, it's tiny. But like, just in general, like 50% at least is, if you want to go really low, is the car, right? It's more than that. But then you got 20 to 30% is operations, you know, because like, look at today, like Oscar was the better driver around this track. He got the, like, technically the worst strategy and lost the race, right? It's as simple as that. So yeah, Leclerc is, in my view, the difference between Leclerc and Verstappen is minute, right? I think Verstappen's probably a slightly better driver. But if you put the two of them in the same team, obviously you'd need a car that's not like developed wildly towards just Max's driving style or whatever. But if it was just even between the two of them, they would be very close. Max may win, but it would be very fucking close.
It would be one of the greatest season in Formula.
It'd be amazing. It'd be amazing. Because Leclerc can drive brilliantly, like absolutely brilliantly.
And he doesn't back down in wheel-to-wheel battles in any which way. I think that's the whole point, because look what and it's not only this weekend, right? It's been, if we remove what happened in Silverstone, which was a complete disaster from him, I think Leclerc has, and at least I've checked my ratings, I think he's at the top right now in 2026 in the first half of the season. And it's entirely
25.
because 25, sorry, because it's just every weekend again and again and again. He's, look, we expected Lewis to close the gap by now.
No,
The
he
gap
didn't.
has increased.
Who
And
expected that?
at least I did. And I think we were talking about this as well, that there were areas where, and he's the first to admit he's not been comfortable with the car. He first became comfortable in Spa, and he put on a brilliant weekend that time around. I think he was the driver of the weekend for me, at least for me in that particular case. This time around again, he is the driver of the weekend, and they were not touching him. If the car did not just crumble, I think he would have. He came. I think he was 7 seconds behind Lando, and Oscar was 10 seconds behind Lando when they came out, and everything just reset. I think Leclerc would have jumped Lando and won the race. He could have done it quite easily. It just, the problem is when your team is not backing you, you can put together brilliance again and again and again. It will never show in results, and that is one of his biggest. You can say, yeah, go for it.
Leclerc is essentially in the worst version of McLaren. Basically, it's last year's McLaren where it's last year's McLaren with a slow car. Basically, like they're not winning the championship and they don't care to back a driver. So it's all about the team, but the team doesn't want to build fast car or give any preference to a driver. So you've just got the worst version of everything. And then you go through all of that. And then when the fucking team principal is trying to fix things, he can't fix things because he's got the board going, well, if you don't win this year, you're fucked. And it's like, well,
Yeah.
I'm not going to win. What are you talking about? Like, how can I win this year? You've given me 18 years worth of shit to fix, and you're going to fire
problem
me
is-
if I don't fix it in 6 months.
Exactly. And the problem is this thing is not going to change next season.
No,
'Cause
I don't
next
think so
season-
either.
Here's what's going to happen next season. There's going to be one of the teams that's going to have the best power unit in Formula One. And it's not going to be Ferrari.
Yeah, no, it's very unlikely.
Exactly. And if it is not going to be Ferrari, at that very moment, you have to think, okay, fine, it's not Ferrari, it's something else, whatever. Does Ferrari have the capability to build the best possible chassis? I don't think so.
No, not anymore.
I think it's foolish to even think about those things
Yeah.
when they've not had a track record of doing that already.
No.
And that's the reality. If next season Fred Vasseur does not have a title contending car, he gets fired for sure, without a doubt.
But
And even if Lewis wants to throw his weight or wants to throw his weight around the team, which I would be surprised if he's even in there in that very moment, it's this team is heading towards the same cycle of disaster that it has gone through again and again and again, where it starts rebuilding. As soon as it reaches the crescendo, it fires the person at the top. Then again
literally,
it falls down.
like,
Every
ridiculous.
fucking time.
But it's ridiculous. Like when you think over the last few years, like 2017, 2018, they came second. Like they were second in the drivers' championship with Vettel, right?
Yeah.
In that situation, you keep the same guy and fucking keep going at it, right? We're close. Just keep pushing, keep pushing. We'll get there, right? They don't. They hire Bonotto. Bonotto jumps in, has to kind of fix things, especially because they have been cheating with the engine. Allegedly, they have been cheating with the engine. Gets to 2022, they finished second in the championship. They actually fought for a title for a brief period in it. And instead they go, right, well, you didn't win, so you're out of here. Then fucking Fred comes in, couple of years of manic, right? Almost wins the Constructors last year. And immediately the conversation is, well, at second, we should probably get rid of him. Like, it's just bonkers.
What are you doing?
Like, it's
Seriously,
insane.
what are you doing here? And
It's insane. And Red Bull have, by the way, just done exactly the same thing, which is why I brought up Red
they've
Bull.
done it
earlier.
worse.
Yeah.
Red Bull won the championship last season.
Yeah. And they've gone, well, last year was terrible. So what are you talking about? Like, McLaren did a better job. It wasn't that, like, oh my God. Just,
Yeah.
this is why boards don't run teams. But this is why boards don't run successful teams. And
Exactly the point.
as we've talked about with Ferrari before, it was the complete dismantling of board intervention is why Ferrari won the championship last time.
I
They
think a lot of
basically
people-
got a team together with John Todd, with Ross Brawn, with Rory Byrne, with Michael Schumacher, and essentially were in a position where they had this super team together to go to the board and say, do us a favor, shut the fuck up and don't call us for a few years. We'll figure this out. And they got themselves that 4 to 5 seasons of breathing room and went on a domination run. And as soon as the board got involved again, Ferrari haven't won a championship in 18 fucking years. So this is just, it just baffles me that the board themselves can't see this. Like, it just...
Look, the board is not the fan of the sport, right? And I think, and again...
Which is why boards can't win in F1. Basically.
Precisely. And I think there are a lot of people that are not clear of what happened and how Michael won, because I posted about this on X, and a lot of people that have actually commented on it, they seem a bit clueless. They talk about the management being different at the time when Michael joined as compared to how it is now. And that's utterly false. Michael in 1995, when he sat down and talked to Ferrari, he sat down and there were specific demands, which if they were not fulfilled, he was ready to leave the team. You know why he was ready to leave the team? If he left Ferrari, there were 5 teams that were waiting to sign him at a record price.
Yeah.
And he would have won the championship earlier than by being at Ferrari. He
was
making a
do you think he
commitment.
couldn't have gone to McLaren with Newey, for example, or to Williams? Like, if he had called up Williams in 1995 or whatever, or 1996, and said, hey, I want the car for 1997, do you think Frank Williams would have said, no, Michael, sorry, we have fucking Jack Villeneuve here? It's like, well, of course, like, come on. They're calling Michael Schumacher in a second.
Ron Dennis was upset and angry at Michael for years because every time he approached him, Michael said no. There's literally a video of Ron getting upset at Michael because he said, I don't think I want to be at McLaren. And
by the way, for anyone who's wondering as well, Ferrari hadn't won a championship in how long at that point? Like, it was since the 80s?
2 decades.
82, wasn't it?
1979 was
Did
Jody
they not win in,
winning the championship.
They won in 82, I think, though.
That was the Constructors' Championship.
Constructors, okay. So, because they won the Constructors in 99 then, right? Wasn't it? Or 98? Yeah.
99 with Eddie, because Michael had a crash.
Yeah, and the whole period before that was the same sort of bullshit we've seen since 2008 as well, of like cycling through people, you know, not getting results and just quickly going, not good enough, out of here. So
pretty much.
This is, basically, as I keep saying, the reason I have no faith in Red Bull anymore is because when boards want F1 teams, it is just the same every single time. Basically, I know people go, but every F1 team technically has a board. However, there's a difference. What I mean is, when boards are day-to-day involved, or they are leaning on top of the person who runs it day-to-day, they want results every quarter or every 2 quarters. They want substantial results that they can show that things are being done. And that's not how F1 works. F1 is a game of what you do now will pay off in 1 to 2 seasons at the earliest. Like,
exactly.
McLaren was in a good position because they put faith behind Zach, and everything Zach said, it was like, right, this is going to be 2 to 3 years before it pays off. And the board said, okay, but we want to see those results in 2 to 3 years. And it was like, okay, great, fine, brilliant, okay. Yeah. Zach said, when we have our wind tunnel and everything, we'll be fighting for championships in 2024. They won the fucking Constructors in 2024.
Pretty much.
And the only reason that happened is because the board said, okay, we'll give you time to do this. You know, you go ahead. You've already fixed the money issues with sponsors and so on. Great. Milestones. Milestones. But
remember how much McLaren was mocked for the number of sponsors it had?
Yeah.
Just look at them now.
And how much we were laughing at them when they kept saying, oh, in 2024 when we got the new wind tunnel. It's like, I remember going, better fucking hope that wind tunnel works out because you've been building us up a lot. I stand corrected. It worked out, you know, but did. This is where I just, Ferrari and Red Bull, I have no faith in, because Audi is the perfect example of look how things change when you start to give people a little bit, you know, you start to back off. Audi was very much run by board on top of Seidel and so on, telling them what they wanted. Nothing happened.
Yeah.
Binotto comes in, basically knows from Ferrari, guys, this is going to be a fucking 5-year project, so leave me alone. As soon as the board left him alone to just work on it, things start clicking. Like, exactly. You need to have those timelines. You have to
understand these. And again, this is entirely what it is going to come down to, because even at Ferrari, I don't think Ferrari changes. That's my view.
Ferrari will never change.
Yeah. And that's my hope, that seriously at this stage, Leclerc just, I think 2026, first race of the season, whatever happens, At that very moment, his manager Nicholas Todd, he needs to start making calls.
Yeah.
Move to Aston
Look,
Martin, move to any other fucking place. Just move.
Leclerc's not in the position to do what Michael did at Ferrari. He's just not. So he's not going to be able to kind of swing his balls around onto tables and go, look, guys, these, I'm taking my dick off the table and leaving here if we don't get shit sorted. Like, look, they'd be like, okay, Leclerc, goodbye. Like, I don't care. Yeah. And Fred, unfortunately, doesn't have that backing either. Whereas, like, Michael with John Todd and Rory Byrne and Ross Brawn, like, these were all guys who basically came in and said, like, we know what we're doing. Like, you know, leave us either
fact,
want
by
us
the
or
way,
don't.
the same board, it was complete. People forget. Luca Di Montezemolo in 1996, he wanted to fire Jean Todt because 96 was a poor season for Ferrari. He wanted to fire Jean Todt because the car was dog shit. It was dog shit. It's been termed dog shit by Eddie Irvine, Michael as well. And at that very moment, Michael stepped in and he said, if Jean leaves, I leave as well.
Yeah. Because he knew that you need to have that strong team.
Exactly. And Jean stayed, then came Ross Brawn, then came Rory Byrne in 97, and from then the magic started happening slowly.
As we know with Michael as well, like Michael goes into a team, gets to know everybody, figures things out, works on a personal level with it, which is just, like, again, like, not to bash Hamilton, but it's just why when people were like, oh, well, Hamilton will go in and fix things, I was like, no, he won't. He's not that driver.
He hasn't done that in his entire career.
He's never done that. Hamilton is an incredibly talented driver who, with the right machinery, is incredibly good. But he is not the guy who can go in and build the team up and build the machinery up. He just doesn't do that. That's not who he is. And even like that James Vell's interview, I just watched again the other day, it was like, he was talking about that, like, Hamilton
Michael
kind of ruins
each and every person.
But But also he was saying like Hamilton kind of was annoying a little bit for the engineers. Like he wasn't digging at Hamilton, but he's just like, he goes in and just starts fucking around with everything until it suits him. And then the engineers are like, we had a plan. Like, what are you doing? Whereas Michael would work with the engineers going through stuff, which is what Vettel was praised for a lot as well. Because Vettel learned that from Michael.
Alonso as well. For a large part, even Alonso. I think
it's not to dig Hamilton. It's just Hamilton's not that driver. Hamilton's the guy of, you give him a quick car, he'll deliver brilliantly. But he's not that. The other thing that is annoying me about Hamilton, to be honest, this season as well, is it's another season of his fans mainly, but he does do this to an extent too, of this kind of feeling of like, oh, if I don't have a fast car, I just don't care. And that for me is just why I'm like, he'll never be the GOAT in my eyes. Because like Schumacher, Senna, Max Verstappen, even like, you know, even when they don't have the fastest car, they're still going out and trying to win or get the most points.
Just look at what Max was doing this race.
Yeah.
The overtakes he was pulling and where he was doing it.
Yeah. Whereas Hamilton just has this like, and his fans will simultaneously say like, oh, he's the GOAT. Oh, but also he doesn't have like the best car, so why would he bother? And I'm like, well, because then he's not the GOAT. Like, what are you talking about? Like, it's just Michael Schumacher in the years where he had dog shit cars still went out and fucking banged in brilliant results. Yeah. Hamilton, whenever he has a shit car, just goes, don't care. It's like, that's...
I doubt that that's the thing that's happening right now. I think he's...
No, I think Ferrari's breaking him.
Yeah, and now let's... Yeah, again, first of all, when it comes to Charles, probably the driver of the weekend for me. I felt very sad for him, but at some point you just realize, okay, it's Ferrari. What can we do?
It's heartbreaking.
That's just the realization. And the saddest thing for me is next season is going to be the same. I know it is going to be the same.
I wish he would just call up fucking Aston Martin and say, listen, that son of yours isn't going to win a championship, so can you just
or just say Alonso is 50 years old. Get rid of him.
Good luck with that.
I'm younger. I'm good looking. Look, I have a great girlfriend. I have a great dog.
Alonso, yeah, because that's the most important thing in Formula One now. How hot is your girlfriend, and what dog do you have? Yeah. That's from
I hate it,
a quick note on that Moneyball. I don't know if you've ever seen that movie, Moneyball.
The Moneyball movie, yeah.
I just love the guy is like it's like, what about this baseball player? I don't know. Have you seen his girlfriend? And it's like, what do you mean? It's dog ugly. So what the fuck does that have? It's like, what the fuck does that have to do with anything? It's like, he's not very confident. Look at his girlfriend.
Yeah.
It's like, but anyway, crazy.
Yeah, that was a mirror into an entirely different world by the way, that movie in so many ways.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, it's a true story though. It's just how the world was.
It's the story of I'm forgetting the name of
The
it.
Oakland A's, who actually the Red Sox, was it the Boston Red Sox? I think I'm not a baseball fan, but they actually used the same strategy afterwards to win.
No, they hired him right after.
Did they hire him to
Yeah,
win?
yeah.
Yeah. Because basically it was like the whole idea of everyone else was just looking at form and like, oh, he's popular, so we'll hire him. And he was like, let's look at the actual numbers. Great film if anyone hasn't seen it. It's really good.